But guys, you need to get to the next level in order to get a girl who too is on that level. Because if you want a high quality girl and call her a 10, call her an 8, a 9, it doesn't really matter what you rank her as. But if you want like your dream woman, you need to become her dream man. And that's essentially what this episode is. How do you become the dream guy that all women want? You need to be ambitious. You need to have purpose. You need to be driven, going for a goal that's bigger than yourself, rather than just sitting around picking lint out of your belly button and looking like a chicken McNugget with tits.
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uniform Mike Papa, the Unapologetic Man podcast. And today, boys, I'm going to talk about the perfect guy who I'd like my daughter to marry. In other words, how you can be the perfect guy. This is essentially what every father wants, but more importantly, this is what every woman wants. And I think if you guys clicked on this episode, you're probably already halfway there or probably 80% there. Because a guy who actually cares about that kind of thing is probably a guy who's already enacting a lot of these kinds of traits, a guy who has good intention, a guy who wants to be great, not only to get what he wants from life, but also to be somewhat of service, to be a good dude to the woman who he actually settles down with. So just the fact that you clicked on this, brother, smack yourself on the ass. You are a champion. Let's get into the content. We got a lot to get through. And guys, stay until the very end because I'm actually going to give a bonus one that I feel is one of the biggest essential markers of a dude who's a good fucking person, a dude who's going to go far in life. And it's one of the secrets of actually being really fulfilled and happy, being at peace. And it's probably not what you think. So don't click away. Stay until the very end. Let's jump into it. So number one, ambitious with purpose. When my daughter brings home her boyfriend or a dude who she's going to marry, if he's a fucking pot smoking, video game playing, sit on the couch picking lint out of his belly button kind of fella, I'm not going to have a lot of respect for that. If on the other hand, he's ambitious, he has purpose, he's trying to build something, then this is the kind of guy I want my daughter to be with because that's the kind of guy that I am. And it's the kind of guy that you are as well. And boys, if you want to get a girl who doesn't make her living on the pole or who doesn't look like your grandfather's couch, you're going to need to enact these in yourself because you need to be a 10, at least as far as how you live your life and who you are as a man, if you're going to get a 10. You don't need to look like a 10. As I say all the time, looks don't essentially matter. It's all about confidence and ambition. But guys, you need to get to the next level in order to get a girl who too is on that level. Because if you want a high quality girl and call her a 10, call her an 8, a 9, it doesn't really matter what you rank her as. But if you want like your dream woman, you need to become her dream man. And that's essentially what this episode is. How do you become the dream guy that all women want? You need to be ambitious. You need to have purpose. You need to be driven, going for a goal that's bigger than yourself, rather than just sitting around picking lint out of your belly button and looking like a chicken McNugget with tits. Let's be honest, boys. You can tell a lot about a person's discipline just by looking at them. Do they look like a muffin top? Do they look like a potato with a bathing suit on it? You can tell a lot about the dude. And this is why being in shape, taking care of yourself, having a purpose beyond just getting your desires and getting through life with as little challenges and with as little misery as possible is attractive to women. Number two, respects his mom, but is independent from her. One of the biggest secrets to make yourself attractive to women is to speak good about your mom and even your dad. To say that you love your mom, you respect your mom. Yeah, you still call your mom, but it's not because you're trying to get money from her or you're locked out of the house and you're trying to get into your basement so you can get to your masturbation station before your mom and dad come home from work and you're like 42 years old, right? It's that respect for your mom, but you're completely independent from her. And even more gangster is like taking care of your mom. I have a lot of guys who come into my coaching program who are like taking care of their parents, who are perhaps single dads taking care of their kids. That's the kind of tier one dude that women are attracted to. A guy who takes responsibility for those around him, is so set up in his own life, is so responsible that he's able to do that. So you're close to your mom, you love your mom, you speak good of her, but you don't really need her so much as she needs you. You're the rock now. You're the foundation. When raising a kid, your goal should be to make yourself unnecessary. And that's attractive to women. If you as a man have developed to the point where you don't need your parents anymore, they've become unnecessary, that's attractive to women. And that is telegraphed by respecting your mom, but not needing her. Number 3, strong internal frame. You guys knew I was going to say this. You lead her to where she wants to be led. You know what you want. You know how to get it. Your frame is essentially how you view reality. And you suck her into that frame with your ambition, your drive. You're a good fucking dude. And you're going to take that little girl under your wing and show her a good time. This is how to get a girl that doesn't look like your grandfather's couch, because women want to be taken to where they want to be taken to. As I always say, lead women to where they want to be led. You're so strong, brother. You're such a warrior in the Unapologetic Man army that girls are like, I want to get absorbed into his reality. Your reality, your frame, how you do things, how you believe about things, how you roll your life is so strong. Women want to attach their wagon to your cart so you could take them into the next best version of themselves. You get hot girls who are high quality, and there's a line of dudes who want to get that girl. Do you think she's just going to choose some schlep from the line who really wants her badly and who left the flower and the poem on her car? Meanwhile, again, he's picking lint out of his belly button, and he's got his masturbation station down in his basement of his parents' house, to which he relies on them to pay his bills. Come on, boys. You got to be that next level dude. And it doesn't matter how you look. You don't even need to be ripped. You just need to take care of yourself and have that confidence and ambition to get to the next best version of yourself. And if you're still listening to this, you have the motivation inside you to do that. And in fact, I would make a bet that you're probably already doing that. So smack yourself on the ass so hard when the concussion hits, it blows the mustache off your best friend's face, because you're a fucking legend, bro. And you need to understand that you are a legend. You need to say to yourself, dude, I'm such a champion. Songs will be written about me that will be sung around campfires for generations to come. I love myself. I respect myself. And a woman would be stoked to be with a champion like me. That's the kind of guy that I want my daughter to marry. That's how he thinks. He's in his frame. And on that point, he leads, but he never controls. See, the biggest misunderstanding of frame control is that you are controlling. You're stubborn. You're always needing to control the situation. And if she doesn't like it, you're going to get like mad about it. But that's the opposite of frame control. Frame control is leading her, but also accommodating what she wants and taking her to where she wants to be led. For example, you guys are driving to go on a third date, let's say. And without consulting with her first, you decided to take her to sushi. Well, you guys are halfway there and she's like, oh, we're going to sushi? I'm sorry, I really don't like sushi very much. It kind of gives me a stomach ache. And honestly, raw fish has parasites inside of it that are going to make me spray diarrhea for 13 weeks. So could we not go to sushi? Instead of being like, no, I need to control the frame. We're going to sushi, little girl. You'll like it, or you could kick rocks with your head down. That's not the strategy, boys. Part of being a good leader is taking her to where she wants to be led. She doesn't want to be led to sushi. She wants to be led to, let's say, go have a steak dinner. So instead of saying, no, we are going to sushi, don't activate my nervous system, bro. Instead, you say, oh, I didn't realize that. Let's go ahead and go to a steak dinner. I know of an awesome place. Come on, let's go. And you take her there. That's the kind of guy who I want my daughter to marry, a dude who can lead her to where she wants to be led, protect her, preside over her, and even, provide for her if she decides she wants to stay home and take care of the kids, if that's her choice. Then that's the kind of dude I want. Not a guy who's controlling, because a guy who's controlling is insecure, right? A guy who needs to have control over a girl is scared that she's going to cheat on him, is scared that she's going to go live her life independently because it comes from insecurity. One of the most secure things you can do is let her go out, let her talk to other dudes. You don't care. Now, hopefully the girl is secure enough where she doesn't need those guys to validate her, or she doesn't need to post her butthole all over Instagram so guys can put it in their spank bank and jack off to it as they wear a helmet and hit their head against the wall because they don't have game. Hopefully your woman doesn't need to create a thirst trap like that to justify herself. But at the same time, the dude is so secure, he's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And if she does said things, I want my daughter to marry a guy who's willing to drop her ass if she isn't the kind of girl that he deems acceptable for his high value life. Guys, you are the prize, as I spoke about in a recent episode. You are the selector. She submitted the application, and you roll the way you roll, and you will drop her at a moment's notice if she isn't the kind of girl that you want her to be. So if my daughter, God forbid, ends up on the pole working at a strip club and he's dating her and he finds out she's a stripper, he's willing to drop that shit because she's not of quality. A high value guy is willing to drop a chick at a moment's notice because he could get another one. So keep your girlfriend off the pole, improve yourself, lead the frame, lead women to where they want to be led. Next one, and this goes without saying, I recently spoke about it. He's disciplined as fuck. He does what's hard because he knows his life will be easy. He doesn't do what's easy, eating like shit, masturbating all the time, cheating on my daughter, for example, because he knows when he does that, your life will be hard. As I always tell you guys, the universe is nothing but a big mirror. What you put out there comes back to you. If you put in discipline, self-respect, you control those base, weak urges inside yourself, then you are going to get more benefit. You're going to make more money. You're going to get hotter girls. You're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be happy. The path to happiness is paved with bricks of discipline. I literally just thought of that. I fucking love it. I'm making a bumper sticker. The path to happiness is paved with the bricks of discipline. It's so sick. Number 6, emotionally intelligent, can feel deeply, listen with his whole body, and communicate in a way that makes people feel seen. One of the biggest reasons women leave and or are unsatisfied with their man is because she feels that he doesn't listen to her, that he doesn't feel her, he doesn't empathize with her, he doesn't understand her. So the guy that I want my daughter to marry, I want him to understand her, to have an open space for her to be her emotional self. He is the rock of Gibraltar in the middle of the ocean, and her little waves are slapping up against him, and he is unmoved, just like her father is. When my little girl comes to me with her problems, there's no problem that can't be solved. The other day, I was riding my one wheel around. By the way, if you guys have never tried a one wheel, they are the sickest things ever. I love my one wheel. It's kind of like one of those skateboards that just has one wheel, and it's a bit like a Segway where it's electric. So I was riding my one wheel around. I ran into one of my friends and I was talking to him for like 20 minutes. And I come back and my daughter was like almost crying. She's like, I was so worried, Daddy. I thought somebody took you. And I looked her in the eyes and I'm like, sweetheart, nobody will be able to take your daddy. I know jujitsu. I can handle myself. Your daddy is safe and I will protect you. And when I said that to her, I saw her get relief in her eyes. I want her to feel that her dad is the Rock of Gibraltar. He cannot be fucked with. Nobody can hurt him. She is safe because he is that solid, ensconced force that cannot be moved. And that's what I want in her husband. Me as a dad, I want to let my daughter go into the world and get another guy, another man, another unapologetic alpha to protect her, to take care of her, so I can sleep well at night. And you need to be that dude too. Number 7, respect, but not a doormat. He's not to be fucked with, but at the same time, he respects her. He treats her like a queen. But if she steps out of line, he's willing to let her know, not with anger, but with calm, seated, deeply ensconced masculine energy. Hey, you did XYZ thing. You were on the pole last night. What the fuck's up with that? I won't accept that. And if that's the way you want to live, it's cool. Just know that I won't be around for it. So what do you want to do? So he gives respect, but at the same time, he is not to be fucked with. Great with kids. I want grandsons. I want granddaughters, and I want him to be a great dad, obviously. Often guys will ask me, is it worth it to be a dad? My answer unequivocally is yes. It's going to be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And if I'm totally honest with you boys, the first 5 years of her life were extremely difficult for me. It was so boring. It was painful when I would have to hang out with her when she was like 3 years old, trying to put a triangular brick into a triangular hole. And I spend 3 straight hours with her and I check my watch and it's been 15 minutes. You ever see that joke on Instagram? When you've been hanging out with your kids for 3 hours, then you check your watch and it's been 5 minutes. Literally, boys, that's the way it's been. But now that she's a little bit older, 5 was like the sweet spot. She turned 5. Oh my God, man, she's riding her bike now. She's kicking the soccer ball around with me. We're going on adventures. This is the golden hour. And I will tell you, I saw a guy on Instagram the other day. He's like, not having kids is the best. I get to sleep in. I get to do what I want. I get to just be exactly who I am and be totally selfish. I have the life that parents dream of. Parents dream that they could just get one day off to sleep in and watch a movie all day. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, brother, when you're an old man in the old folks home and nobody's coming to visit you and you didn't pass on your knowledge to another human being, you didn't really contribute to humanity, you didn't pass on your genes, you didn't sacrifice yourself to add to another person, another soul's life, that's the definition of unfulfillment to the fucking letter. Having kids is fulfilling, and it's naturally fulfilling because God, source energy, the universe, whatever it is, needs to make us get more fulfillment than less fulfillment. So we keep doing it. So we continue the lineage of our species. If having kids wasn't worth it, we wouldn't have 10 billion people on this earth. It's worth it. You as a man get rewarded. You get serotonin. You get dopamine. You have purpose. You have the most joy in your entire life when you see your daughter or your son get born, learn to walk, say their first words, ride a bike for the first time. It's the most joy you'll ever feel. I strongly suggest it. I'm not going to lie. It is annoying as sometimes. I've never been more annoyed than I have been as a father, but at the same time, I've never had these peak emotions where you literally cry. You love the kid so much. I want you guys to experience that, and I want you to experience it with a good woman. So you need to become this dude that I'm talking about in order to get a kind of woman who will have your back, who will support you, who will be your biggest cheerleader, and who won't be on the pole on a Saturday night trying to get an extra $100 of tips. Number 9, confident with girls, but deeply loyal. This dude's a girl magnet. He can get any girl he wants, but he chooses my daughter. And that's what I want you guys to be. I want you to be the dude who could get any girl you want, but you choose to be with the girl who you want to be with because she makes the cut. She's a good woman. Number 10, spiritual in his own way, whether it's having a religion like Christianity or whatever, or just being spiritual but not religious the way I am. I personally feel when you believe in a higher power, it makes you a better person because you understand the law of cause and effect. You understand that there is a purpose for us to be here. I feel when people live life believing there is a purpose for it, that it's not just some random coincidence and we're all going to die one day and it's just going to go to blackness and there's no point in this whatsoever. When you believe there is a purpose to it, I believe you live your life with more purpose and you become a better person. Now, if you're an atheist listening, own your frame, dude. If that's what you believe, then believe it. But I want to ask you, do you feel like you're a good person? Do you feel like you're contributing to this world? Do you feel maybe even there is a purpose to be good? There is a purpose to give beyond just your selfish desires, like giving because I know I'm going to get back. If you give selflessly, just because you love humanity and you love the earth and all the animals and all the trees and you feel like there's God beneath it and there's a bigger point to it, I really believe that that mode of thinking, that belief system leads to a deeper sense of peace, a deeper sense of purpose, a deeper sense of service for this world. And that's the bonus one, boys. One of the biggest secrets to happiness is serving others. If you feel depressed, if you feel you just can't get your life together, you feel like you're bored or you just can't attain happiness anymore, what you need to do is serve. Give to others what you hope to get back to yourself. If it's a smile, give a smile. If it's a hug, give a hug. A compliment, give a compliment. Give it first and it will come back to you. One of the most important things I ever discovered is that as I serve you guys in this podcast, and more importantly in my 3-month coaching program, serving my boys, peeling the skin off my back to give these guys the desired result that they hired me for, there is nothing more fulfilling. And that even goes into being a parent. When you become a parent, you are serving. Don't get it twisted, bro. You are a fucking servant. And you are going to give so much of yourself to that little girl or to that little boy that it comes back to you in a treasure trove of happiness, a treasure trove of fulfillment. So how can you serve? Even just giving a compliment, opening a door for somebody, being cool to somebody, giving money to a homeless person. When you live life with the philosophy of service, how can I be of service here? How can I ameliorate this world? How can I make this world better? How can I go on a date with a girl who perhaps shows up looking like a canyon mule when on her dating app she looked like Princess G-Spot? How can I still leave her better from having met me? And that's what I'm always thinking. How can I give value? How can I leave people better? And that's why I'm happy, is because I'm able to serve you guys. Even those of you who will never hire me, never buy anything from me, you just coming and listening to this podcast, I thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity to serve you. And I hope I've served you well today. So let's go over them again, boys, and then I'll wrap this up. This is the man that I want my daughter to marry, or in other words, this is how you can become the perfect man. You're ambitious with purpose. You respect your mom, but you're independent from her. You have a strong internal frame and you lead, but you're never controlling. You're disciplined as fuck. You're emotionally intelligent. You respect your woman, but you're never a doormat. You are not to be fucked with. You're great with kids. You're confident with girls. You're a girl magnet. You get anybody you want, but you choose her and you are loyal to her. You are not a cheater. You are spiritual in your own way. And last of all, boys, you serve. You love humanity, you love the earth, and you want to serve to make those things better, not be a taker like so many other guys are. As I always say, the most important thing of opening a girl is being a go-giver. Go give her good energy, give her a good conversation, then she gets attracted to you, and only then do you hit on her, show sexual interest, which is another episode that I'm going to do soon. The 20 laws of approaching girls or something to that effect. So stay tuned for my next episodes, boys. I got a lot of really good ones coming along. If you want to apply to my 3-month coaching program, just click the link below. I also have a perks program where if you leave me a review or subscribe to my YouTube channel or tell friends about my podcast, I give you a bunch of really cool shit. So check that out below, guys. I super appreciate you listening. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you in the next episode